one day he said like he feels like his poetry's not really built for the open mic. And I agree. I feel like it's more serious. It's more important. Everything has attentions to it. So I can't wait for y'all to hear these pieces and hear him talk. So please come into the stage, Kirwyn.
I grew up in Germantown. Yeah. And I grew up on 5130 Knox Street. And it was one of them blocks where we had like a block captain. We had like, the kids was running out of everybody else's like house. Like it was one of them situations where everybody knew everybody. And then we moved to Topahawken Street, like in West Germantown. And we were like the only black family on the block. And so it became more like, we gotta be this certain type of way to present to the white folks. Like that's how it became. And, my stepmother was kind of like, this on video. But my stepmother was kind of like, in the house, a monster, but outside, like, nice. You know what I mean? And in that way, I was like, oh, like y'all like keeping secrets. You know what I mean? Like the higher you went, like the more you acquire, the bigger advantage is to keep the secret of the family. You know what I mean? And so this poem came out of thinking about that. I wrote it after, like, anybody see Medea's Family Reunion? Like, right? So it was that part where Cicely Tyson was, like, walking down the joint, and she was like, oh, she saw all the young people doing, gambling, twerking, all this shit. But I was just like, but what about the old folks? Like, you always see this dude, like, checking out a very young, like, like daughter over there. Like, so it's not just about, like, bagging on young people. It's also about, like, the lineage of a secret. And so I wrote this to that. And if everybody knows, I've been writing these poems to Tyler Perry, these letters to Tyler Perry. So, yeah, this is one of them. And also, like, you don't have to clap, like, you don't have to snap. I just want you to, like, listen and consider. You may disagree, and that's okay. But we could talk after. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Dear Tyler, at the family reunion, when Cicely walked the dirt path, she saw young men gambling, young women gyrating all over, and asked, what happened to us? As in, how far have we fallen from Sunday suit and tie? If I could answer her rhetorical with a practical, did she see Grandpa Joe sitting around a table of other grandfathers asking a maybe young, not too distant relative to dive deeper into the cooler so he could see her denim ride up skin? It must have been a secret. The old man drunk at a cookout, always a necessary fringe, no harm done. When everybody drunk, consent is a misnomer. What happened to us? To answer this question, you have to look further than a shiesty and a Nike Tech. In September 2010, in front of a packed church, Bishop Eddie Long said he was not a perfect man. In 2016, Ronald Savage detailed the many times Africa Bambaataa lured him in. The good Bishop Enoch Roos got his ass beat for hurting the children of Red Hook Summer. Is it real what they say? That a man can do enough good to erase a victim's life? I believe art can do it, erase a life. The tongue of an orator could twist backs, contort poise so good it got the whole crowd sliding out the pews. When just a word can lay the world prostrate, what choice does she have? Outcry only works at the point of transaction. If there is something to barter, like with, say, her family could outfame the claims just for coming forward, accusations of bringing a black man down take over the waves. Tides and tides of bitch, hoe, slut, cover up the bullet wound. I tried writing Tory, but the autocorrect turned to Trey. Etymology of a predator, plunderer, robber. The right names melt the labels down to axed. A note only holds a moment. Can you sacrifice the call of your body for the liberation of a soul? The oldest question known to atoms involves lust. Writhing in heat under a spotlight, and you ain't got no 12 play to rock. What a pity. You might think this plea is an obtuse reduction, but there is power in your choice to believe, to hear the documentation, even if you think you know the subject. Man, you meet my abusers and they would make you feel so safe, so assured, so paid. So in 2015, I was a part of a poetry slam team that went to Oakland. And we made like top 20. It was all right out of like 70 teams. But that was like the last time I memorized a poem. like I been memorizing poems for like 10, 11 years. So I was talking to KP and I was like, oh, for this joint, I'm gonna like memorize a poem. That was like a couple days ago. So I was like, let me see how this is gonna go. But I think it's important to like get the poem in your body because it has a different life outside of the page. And so that's what I'm like slowly working back up to. So I'm gonna try it. I got my words here in case I fuck up. So here we go. All right. Oh, can I curse? Yeah. Okay.
You can fucking curse. What the fuck?
Right. All right, cool. When a white woman cries in public, eyes become magnets. Hands of all colors dart to catch her tears. White men show themselves and their rifles, asks if a nigga done it. The whole world waits to hear her answer. When a white woman cries in public, our hearts melt. Our hands clasp. We yearn for the chastening, to be cleansed by her holy water. When a white woman cries in public, we are all baptized, preserved into salt, pressed into pillars. When a white woman cries in public, black people are made into Lot's wife, unholy, blown away, only brought back to serve the sadness. When a white woman cries in public, Al Roker defends her right to be what a black woman never has the space to, mediocre. When a white woman cries in public over a black man, it is assumed some crime occurred. It is assumed that black man's teeth don't know how to act around white meat. When a white woman cries in public, she is a hero, a wet, red-faced icon, an altar to pray to. When a white woman cries in public, all men draw unto her. When a black woman cries in public, nobody crosses the yellow caution tape surrounding her. Everybody stands around the perimeter while she extracts the bullets from her back, takes a scrub brush to her chalk outline, exposes her wounds to the camera. I mean, she could cry a river and everybody would just tell her to use her best stroke to survive, to breathe. She must grab the spine of her child just slain and swim straighter while wet, while tears become another form of rain. And a white woman cries at what used to be a black woman's pain, and the black woman swims, and the black woman swims, and there may not be any land for years, and the only thing on the horizon may be more white women crying. But then the black woman snatches fins off a fish and stitches them to her arms, takes a bone and carves gills on the side of her neck. When a white woman cries in public, black women go underwater. Learn how to survive in what would be a casket for me or you, and builds a world where no humans have ever lived before. When black woman cries in public after raising the world, every shade of man gawks at her scars, tells her to cover up while all the white woman's sadness rolls off her back, and she ain't truly cracked open sorrow yet. She's been too busy shedding everybody else's baggage. When a black woman cries in public, she is told to shut up, to swallow up all the trauma, to mop up all the blood. Whew, I got through that. You know. So this last poem I'm going to do is another Tyler Perry joint, and it's about me getting whippings, all throughout high school, all that shit. And I think I saw like an Instagram post of, anybody else see this Instagram post of like the dude who, like, I think the kid called him Little Bruh and he strangled him. Did anybody see that? Yeah, so this teacher, like, it was like a back and forth between him and the student called him Little Bruh, whatever, and he like strangled him and got like charged. And I have this thing about people not understanding that just because you like whooped a child and raised them and they got a degree, that doesn't mean that they're healthy emotionally. You know what I mean? So this is what that's about. Dear Tyler, I gotta tell you about the worst one. One day, the basement needed cleaning, so they forced our feet underground. I ain't think of nothing but clearing all this junk so I could run through the backyard, speeding through the dank, mildewed planks. I picked up a paint can and happened to dislodge the rim. The paint speckled my brown slacks. These were my good ones. Shit, my hand tried to rub out the error, but the mistake just became more embedded. By the time I was going to hit the stairs, my father thumped down. As soon as he saw the smear, he grabbed a mop and started swinging. Not no wimpy Swiffer, one of those heavy-duty wood johns with the white spaghetti dreads. Pain wasn't a function of hurt. Nah, it was that a household item could be weaponized. A man whose blood regularly flowed through mine decided to snap over Foreman Mills scraps. It would be funny if it wasn't regular and numerous. Extension cords, hoses, nails, whelps, Tims, broken Barbies, bruised bones, apparently tame, ignorant beast. That night, I planned a makeshift knife and thought I'd catch him when he was drunk. Or steal every can of paint and douse every inch of my wardrobe. Beatings didn't make me mind, they made me lose it. They made me fake it, bury all my secrets under a clenched jaw. Years later, I wondered why my fury was so murderous. They say, this some slave shit. The cat o' nine tails, a gift passed from the hold to the plantation to the cabin. I don't believe in that kind of gene transfer. I just be theorizing about how a human wishes so bad to control another. You know, like Pavlov's dogs dangle violence in front of their nose and magically a D turns into an A. Wow. Congratulations. A soldier grown in a lab. Thank you. So, my name is Kirwyn Sutherland. Kirwyn Sutherland on everything. And yeah, I promise I'm more funny.